Hi and welcome to my studio. So today we went shopping and it's coming up to Easter here, and at the shops it was so busy, especially at the fish market. So here in Australia it's the usual thing to buy seafood for Easter, and I just thought I'd do a little drawing of what I saw at the fish market today. And today we saw lots of prawns and calamari and scallops. So I thought, yeah, why not? Why not just do a little sketch of what I've experienced today? So busy, there were lineups everywhere, very lots of people buying their seafood. It was hustle and bustle. It was actually, everyone was in a good mood, so that was great. And we happened to bump into one or two friends, which was even better. So I just thought, yeah, why not do that today? It's coming up to Easter, and let's just make the most of it. So I've just pre-drawn and sketched up some prawns and some seafood here. I've sketched up in my Unipin sepia pen, which I like to use. It gives a much softer look to the sketch rather than the black. So let's get started, and I'm going to start with a cad yellow. Just bringing my brightest, lightest in first. And I'm going to start with the prawns. I've just got two prawns loosely sketched here. And we've got some cad red. And I'll just put that in while it's still wet. Today I'm using my water brush. It's a water chamber brush in a round. So I haven't counted the legs, but I just wanted an impression of what I saw and what I know prawns to be. So I'll do the same with the second one. Using cadmium red now, and I'm working into that first colour, which was cadmium yellow, while it's still wet. So if you want a softness, blending softness into your work, that's the best way to do it, is to work wet in wet. Just connecting that up a little. Okay, so now I can see that there are some darker areas. I'll just use some burnt sienna just in the shadows. You can see I'm still working wet in wet. Just a matter of placing a little bit of shade where I can see it. So I can either do a darker eye with the brush, or I could come back in with a pen, with a black pen, and do that if I wanted to. Okay, so they're looking okay, aren't they? I'll just clean out my brush. I might bring in yet a deeper wash of cadmium red. So just strengthening up the value, which is just going a little darker. Now in the legs, I can see it's just a little pinker, a little bit more pink. So I'll go into some pink in my palette, that's Opera Rose. And a little bit into the orange just to connect those two colours up a little. And I might get my little finer brush. Just to do these whiskers. Okay, so now I'll move on to the squid, and there was quite a bit of blue. I'll just wash out this brush. So there was some French Ultra. Now they're quite clear, the squid. They do have a little bit of colour. I'm using my small travel palettes today, which I always use in my little sketchbook journals. This is a Bohong journal, and it's my little one that I often pack. So I'm using a blue, which is French Ultra Blue. And it's kind of just that I want that definition from the oranges and yellows of the prawns. Okay, so I might just put in a little cadmium yellow yellow ochre I've used because I want a softer colour. They're quite soft in colour, the squid. Okay, and I'll put some shading underneath that in a minute. Now we had scallops, so I can again use this nice cadmium orange quite strongly. That's the roe there, nice bright orange. And again, the scallop itself is usually fairly white, but I'll put in a little bit of yellow ochre just there. Then we have the shell. So very quickly I'm putting this together. Let's go with some burnt sienna. Shell has a nice white outer edge. Okay, so cleaning out the brush. I've got a couple of lemons over here, some lemon slices, which is, oh gosh, you can't have seafood without lemon, can you? It's quite thick. I'm always amazed at the strength of the pigments in these little sets. They're quite good. They've travelled with me all around in Australia and to Europe. And they never fail to give me just what I need. Okay, so that's the lemon slices. So we're almost done. Now what I want to do is just colour in. I've already written in here. So I've got Easter 2024 and a little bit of writing about the day. So let's just do... Now I'm looking for something that might be a purple for Easter. So let's go with some pink, which is an opera rose, and phthalo blue. That will give me a nice purple colour. Now why have I chosen purple? I think it's such a nice Easter colour, but also it's an opposite to the orange, and you can see how that just makes everything pop. Okay, so all I need to do now is a little bit of shading. I'll go with some French ultramarine blue. There's a little touch of lunar black in that, and it's because I want a little bit of definition underneath the subject so that it will stand out from the white paper. Now I also could have gone with some of the purple in the shading. I'm not a big fan of purples in shaded areas. I tend to prefer the blues, but that's just a preference, and you can, if you like a purple in the shade, you can have that. It depends on where it is, I guess. Sometimes it's a nice bright day shade colour. Now if we fill in this gap in here, which I call painting in the negative, that will bring out the lighter colours. Just put your shading in where you would imagine that there would be shade under where something is sitting. So I've used it to my advantage here. Just to give a bit of shade under each object, because that really makes it stand out from the paper. Okay, so we're done. That's just a simple little exercise today. Sometimes simple is better, isn't it? Okay, thanks for watching.